Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick, Homeland, Season 6, Episode 2, The Man in the Basement, with our own man in the basement, Ben Mankiewicz, Alonso Duralde. We talked after Episode 1 that the show seems to be abandoning the formula of, oh, Carrie's off her meds. You know, she seems a lot more stable. And they're really, with the stuff between her and Quinn, I think they're really kind of doubling down on the notion of actual emotions and character stuff as opposed to like spy shenanigans. Not that we aren't getting that as well.
And I'm sure we will, yes. But this is the emotional development and emotional connection of the characters seems much more resonant.
Because it doesn't seem like Quinn's going to be back on the board anytime soon.
Doesn't seem like Quinn is going to be a big contributor to helping this kid out.
Exactly.
I said to my wife as we were watching yesterday, because she was talking about how annoying Carrie is, right? And I thought, yeah, you know what, she is annoying because the character of Carrie is annoying. She's a difficult person. Life has been a struggle.
Right.
Right? Everything is intense. She was like, why should she make a big deal out of everything? And I thought, she does make a big deal out of everything. And Claire Danes is unbelievably consistent in portraying this character. And that almost, this episode yesterday, to me, almost was the best. Because, as you said, they've taken this character and it's not the big emotional swings. It's like, as we will, to the limited degree that people without bipolar have learned about it, maybe some degree in the wake of Carrie Fisher, like it's never totally even. Like Carrie, we're to believe, has found meds that worked and a good balance, but still, this is what functioning is to her.
Right.
She is emotional and she is easily upset and makes a big deal out of things, but is a good mother and is a genius in her field and is making the country safer and may get an innocent kid if he's innocent off. So like, I was a bit in awe of like, Claire Danes is great.
Oh,
great. She's a 10 plus.
She's extraordinary. And and I was just thinking about it, like my so-called life was almost 25 years ago. And even then, I thought, wow, this is like the best crier on television. And she's still the best crier on television. But not to, and I don't mean that in a diminishing way at all. I mean, she really like has this well of stuff that she can call up. And often on these recaps, I will cite that book, Difficult Men, you know, the way that the sort of umbrella for this era of television and the kind of characters that we're getting. And she's one of the few really great, difficult women that cable has seen fit to give us. Certainly one of the few who gets an hour-long show.
Yeah, that's right. And just like Tony Soprano carried that show with a tremendous supporting cast, she does as well.
Yes.
And it is, and you're right. And if she, and the language that we use again is different because it's a woman. But if you're Tony Soprano, you'd be like, oh well, sometimes I like him, and sometimes he's a
Frank Underwood or
sure, totally.
Walter White, any of those guys.
Right,
totally.
right. All sort of Tony Soprano disciples. But yes, and she's just, I just got sort of blown away by the maintenance that she has of this character, because now I believe a couple years have gone by and you get the feeling this is her maintaining, and she still has that notion of at any moment. But she's got it in check. Anyway, I love it, and I love her.
And what's so fascinating is that she's got that amazing scene with Saul, where she is so clearly upset at the accusation that she is secretly, advising the president-elect, and then it turns out she's secretly advising the president-elect.
You were convinced, right?
Yes.
I was like, no, she's not lying to Saul.
Heavens, no! What? No way.
It's all, and then Dar, what a dick.
The dance those three do, always such fun to watch.
But like, it's just, I got it, they're in the spy, but it's also believing that Dar thinks she's doing the right thing. Instead of saying right away, as a normal person would, yeah, she convinced you, but look at these pictures, she was lying. Like, why make Saul ridicule himself, make a fool of himself, but you do it so that you can play that card with impact later.
Right. Well, because eventually, Saul's going to have a thing that Dar wants, or Dar's going to have to work around Saul, and so he's got to hold.
You think you were right? Like you were right about Carrie?
Yeah,
advising,
exactly.
Boom, right, and then he'll do it. Like, it's terrible. It is so manipulative. Dar is so, and of course, then we learned that story, his 9/11 story,
also not true.
Also not true. I pull it out when I need it. Yeah. But I do like Dar's emergence from, and it was true last season too, but full this season emergence from, recurring character to integral part of the show.
We need him ingrained for sure.
Dar is a good bad guy, and of course his presence softens Saul, and Carrie recognizes that as much as Saul irritated her, and as much as he's like, well, he's not gonna jeopardize American safety or screw up the Iran deal just to save face at the CIA.
Right. And I'm liking the unfolding CIA-FBI conflicts here.
Yes.
With the
Yeah, I didn't
FBI
think of
in
those
the
terms,
person
yes,
of
right.
Mr. Nurse Jackie, having set up that guy, the gang
Speaking
member.
of women who
half hour. She got half hour.
Half hour. You're right.
But yeah, so his whole deal of setting up this guy to be the is he even Muslim? Did we determine that is he faking being Muslim?
Oh, you mean the
gang
informant?
member? Yeah.
I don't even think he's Muslim.
Yeah.
Right.
But he is half Pakistani, so that makes him
Good
handy
enough.
for these
Right.
things.
So he might be right. He might be, and that was close enough.
Right.
Yeah. So unless there may be a twist coming with that too. But,
Always a possibility. Yeah.
but right now we're led to believe no, he didn't. He wasn't connected to extremists. He wasn't in anything. He just got used, and the FBI knew great. Like it was like, call me the next time you have a Pakistani, someone of Middle Eastern origin and Muslim origin over a barrel.
Right. Yeah. And to basically create this somebody that we can entrap for
Right.
just so that we can then say, look at this thing we foiled, or whatever.
Right.
I loved the scene with the mother and the daughter in the kitchen. Where she's like, he would never, and the daughter's like, no, actually.
Yeah, the daughter was good. I didn't think that Carrie would permit the daughter to get that emotional with the guy, that ran the risk of having the guy leave because of that.
Right. Well, I think she was trying to
Here's what I kept
smooth it out.
A couple things. There was I had three takeaways. One, Claire Danes is more brilliant than ever.
Right.
And she was already brilliant. Two, what a great development for television that we can say Iran, Israel, Saudi Arabia, instead of 24 with our nuclear deal with Batun.
Oh, right.
And where you had to make stuff up, and it lost credibility in the process.
In DC Comics in the 80s, it was Bialya.
Yeah, just like Israel, Saudi Arabia, Iran.
Name the names.
What about it? And then I just kept thinking about the informant who was gets a call, and he's like, oh, this hot girl I used to see, and I'm going to go meet her in the park, and I'm going to have sex, and oh, crap, the CIA wants to talk to me.
What's this white lady doing here?
It is a devastating turn of events for him, for how he thought that evening was going to play out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, what do we think about, obviously Dar is making connections with German billionaire guy as far as his
Otto. Right?
Otto During, right? Yeah. Yes, his presence in Carrie's life and in the Piotis' life. Is that going to turn into a thing where he's up to something no good, or
Dar?
No, the Dar is right that Otto is somehow.
Well, we've thought since Otto's emergence, there's no way Otto is just a thoughtful German philanthropist.
Right. Well,
yeah,
but I didn't know how fishy we were talking about. If he's literally trying to manipulate American policy, that's a pretty big,
I think Otto is wrong. Otto is wrong. Now, I thought Pastor Tim was wrong.
Well, there you go.
So far, that has not been. But I sense that Otto is not just a well-meaning philanthropist. It's not interesting if he's a well-meaning philanthropist. Like the thing about Pastor Tim on The Americans is that it is interesting if it turns out he's just a
he doesn't have to be a bad guy to have some role in the plot.
No, and it's almost interesting. Like they're going, you think? No, look, he's just a pastor looking after kids the way pastors are supposed to. But if it just turns out Otto is a guy who has a lot of money and facilitates this, then I don't know. It doesn't strike me.
Fair enough. Yeah, good point.
But who knows? But so yes, I think something is happening, but I don't know quite what it would be. And you bring up a really interesting point. Are we going to see? I think we're commending Peter too, right? Rupert Friend, right?
Yes.
Like those are tough things to do.
The seizure
and being, seeing the beginning of a seizure and being weakened the way he is. Mm-hmm. Now, do we think he really hasn't watched that video? Yeah. Or is it going to turn out that he has 15 times said, "I've never seen that video"?
I don't know. It was interesting how they played that up, but this is now the second time that he's asked her, "Why did you save me?" And it's like, how do you answer that question?
Or does he mean, "Why do you say?" Right. So what he means, like, "Why do you save me?" Because maybe he's remembering, "Do we love each other?" Like, does he not know that? Because that's what she's leaving out two things. One, that they looked like they were going to leave that life together and actually have a normal life, and then circumstances prevented it. Almost a Three's Company misunderstanding. Although again, they were probably not capable of doing it.
It wouldn't have lasted 6 weeks.
Right, but nonetheless, they loved each other, and they're not people who have been in love, right? And they certainly felt a connection. And
Well, Brody.
right, she is right, of course, yeah. But he also is. She's leaving out that they brought him back, and that his condition. Is his condition, do we know, caused by the sarin exposure, or is the condition caused by
being brought out of the coma?
Brought out, and then they were like, no, don't bring him out of this coma, and then he had a heart attack afterwards.
For me, the why meant, I'm a big sort of end of life issue person, and I think there should be circumstances where people can say, as they do in many civilized countries, like I don't want to live with this level of incapacitation, mental or physical or whatever, And so for me, the why is, why not let me die when I was so close to death if this is what my life is now going to be?
Right, sure. A part of it too. There's a lot in his why.
Yeah.
Like, why do you care
why
this
did
much
you
about
save
me?
me? Why did you save me?
Right. So all going to play out. I like the people we didn't think we'd see again. Like, you always forget about Max, and you forget about Max's partner, who's a wonderful character actor whose name escapes me right now because he hasn't been on yet this year. But I love that those guys show up again.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's good, and the president-elect is great.
Yes, Elizabeth Marvel. We always like her.
But you mentioned this last week. I totally get confused because I'm like, she was the Solicitor General. But she was not the Solicitor General. She's never been on Homeland before.
No,
but
she was running for president on House of Cards, and she is the president-elect on Homeland.
She was running, but she would have been the Solicitor General and then ran for president on House of Cards.
I know, it's like these are different universes that we're supposed to juggle with the same actors.
And it's such a similar...
Oh, totally, yeah.
She's playing it essentially the same way, although she's got more...
How could she not? She would have to put on an eye patch or something. I mean, it's the same type of, career politician.
But she was... It's funny, because on House of Cards, though, she was sort of cold and calculating.
Right.
And here...
She's had more of a self-deprecating sense of humor.
And she was like, Carrie, what can we get you? But I liked her chief of staff, saying, oh, here's the part where the guy from the CIA lies to me. Okay, Oh, well, the nuclear deal's in jeopardy. Oh, just as we come in,
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. But as Carrie, they cover it nicely with Carrie saying it's too big a deal for you to dismiss it.
Right.
Like, you have to check it out.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's, I'm into it. Nothing really has happened yet.
But she's putting Saul in place, and Dar knows that she's putting Saul in place. Or actually, Dar knows she's involved, and then we'll, I guess, intuit that she's putting Saul in place. And,
yes. And then Saul is going to go to wherever Dar es Salaam or wherever that meeting is, and then we'll be in our exotic. Dangerous
exactly.
Locale
with the Morocco passing for something else.
Right, where people will get a hood put over their head. Because that's what happens on Homeland.
Indeed. All right. So yeah, more to come. Come back and see us.